Okay, here we are, day two, just like I promised. All right, so this is me sharing with you. Just kind of give you a little introduction again, just in case you missed it. This is my journey, my health journey, as I am discovering new things about my body, how it's changing as I'm aging gracefully, and some of the things that I can do to help support it. Now, I did yesterday just like an impromptu video, starting with day one, because I was just so inspired with everything that I was learning. And, I kind of think that I know a little bit about something when it comes to my own personal health. I've been on a very interesting health journey my whole life. And I've always believed that my body had the ability to heal itself, that my body was super hyper intelligent, that all of the cells in my body had this really incredible wisdom, right? And I absolutely believe that because as you can see, like the cells from my nose, they're not on the tip of my finger right now. They're right exactly where they're supposed to be, right? And so our cells are highly intelligent and our bodies are capable of healing themselves. I believe that if given the right conditions, we can pretty much overcome any kind of ailment that we're dealing with. Just about, I would say, just about, but things that are happening with our bodies, I believe that we can kind of tune in and ask the question of, what does my body need right now? What is this ailment or this symptom trying to tell me right now? And you would you would be surprised at what you can learn when you actually talk to yourself because you know what? They're listening. So how are you talking to yourself? Right? Now, that's not something that Dr. Mindy taught me. Dr. Mindy taught me other things that are very, very important. There are things about the importance of sugar in our diet and when sugar should be introduced because we actually do need glucose, right? So glucose is it's a form of sugar, right? It's found in carbohydrates, and we do need it, but we don't need an excess of it. And so what I'm learning that there are times when you can actually like eat eat glucose, eat carbohydrates, and there are things that you can do that kind of can slow the progression of those carbohydrates that's spiking insulin in your body. There's things that you can do to kind of slow that down before you actually eat some carbohydrates. Like I never knew it, but you can actually just like have like a high fatty food or a good oil. And Dr. Mindy says that good oils are coconut oil, avocado oil, olive oil, and then grass-fed ghee or grass-fed butter, ghee or butter. So these are the oils that are good for your body, that are good for your brain. Of course, nothing in excess is really good for you, but it's good for your brain. And so you can put a little bit of oil, like MCT oil, which is a coconut oil, into your coffee. And it can kind of like slow down, it's the oil, it can kind of slow down your system so that when you do eat a carbohydrate, it's already kind of got your system on a slow digesting process, right? Because if you just take sugar, which I just did the other day, and I didn't realize this, but if you're if you haven't eaten in a little while, and then you just take like even an orange, and you haven't eaten something in quite a bit, and you take that orange and you put it in your mouth, that sugar of that orange is going to spike your glucose. It's going to spike it. So there are some things that we can do to kind of you know minimize that spike so that we're not going up and down like this where we have these big spikes in our glucose and we get like this really high energy, and I'm sure you've seen it in children, and then the fall, right, where we just like we have no energy at all. So these spikes in our glucose. So this is really an important thing to pay attention to is when is paying attention to not only what are the carbohydrates that you're eating, but also when are you eating them, because it makes a big determination on how your blood glucose is going to be observed throughout the day. right? So Bob and I decided that we were going to go ahead and get this. I wanted to share this with you. I'm just sharing some things that, and I bought this on Amazon, and it was very inexpensive. It was $20 for this. And of course, you have to refill the test tabs, and the Lancets. You have to buy more of those because this just comes with a starter pack. But it was like the most inexpensive, and I did a little bit of research, and I felt like this would be a good product for us because we're not actually like diabetic. However, we are wanting to monitor our blood glucose, and so this is about $20 on Amazon, right? Which was pretty easy, and it's pretty easy to read and pretty easy to use too. So this I'm doing every day. I'm checking my blood glucose. Yesterday I checked it before right when I woke up, and I got a reading level of 90. But then I thought to myself, hey, what if I were to wait until right before I was going to eat some food and test my blood then? And when I tested it today at 11 o'clock, after I'd had a couple of cups of coffee with no sugar in it, I had some MCT oil right here, organic MCT oil in my coffee, and then some half and half, some organic half and half, and my blood sugar was at 100. So yesterday it was 91, today it was 100. So I'm wondering if I did my blood, if I tested my glucose in the morning when I first got up, and then tested it again at right before I ate something for the first time, just to see if maybe what the beverage that I was drinking, because maybe I misunderstood, but I thought that I could drink some coffee in the morning and have a little bit of MCT oil and half and half in there. So I'll test it tomorrow just to see how that works because I only just tested it today after when I was getting ready to eat. So I noticed that there was a change in my glucose from my test yesterday morning at 8, and then my test today at 11. Right, so there was a little bit of a change by about 9 points. And so I'm gonna try a different testing tomorrow. So I'm gonna test it in the morning and then right before I eat too. All right, so that was one thing, and this is really is very easy to use, and it's really virtually painless. Um, I thought, wow, I'm going to be poking my finger many, many times, but it's just such a really tiny, tiny poke that you can barely feel it, and you actually have to squeeze your finger in order to get the blood out. So it's not like you poke it and it starts gushing blood or anything. So don't be worried about that. So I'm checking on my sugar, the glucose in my blood, because those spikes, right, are not good for my system. And as I was sharing yesterday, they also wreak havoc on our emotions, right? So how we're feeling, right? When we have those huge spikes in sugar, our emotions kind of can go that way too. And I was just kind of like noticing the parallels of that. So another thing that is really, really important that Dr. Mindy expresses a lot, and it's something though that I've had my eye on for a long time, is toxins and toxins in our environment. There are so many toxins that we're exposed to on a daily basis. Toxins in the air, toxins in our water, toxins in our food. Oh, there's so many toxins in our food. And, so the very first line of defense would be to, one, stay away from processed food. Highly processed food is not good for you. And number two, go from the more whole foods like fruits and vegetables, and buy organic when you can, because that in itself is going to alleviate you from a lot of pesticides, and chemicals. And there just seem to be evident in our food in unbelievable quantities. Even in the United States, they're permitted to put all kinds of things in our food that it's not so much that in Europe they don't permit it. However, in Europe, if you put these things in the food, it has to be listed on the label. And in the United States, we have things like natural flavors or artificial ingredients. And those terms in and of themselves allow for things to be hidden. So they can put all kinds of things behind natural flavors or artificial ingredients, and things that you probably wouldn't put in your food if you were preparing your food. Just saying. So pay attention to the toxins that are in your food, like natural flavor. The only thing, and when you actually like Google it, you find out that the only requirement for it to be a natural flavor is that it the very first thing, it originates from a natural product, right? However, it can be anything. It can be anything found in nature. What happens to that from that point on can be anything, can be chemical, can be toxic, can be processes, can be all kinds of things, as long as it started with a a natural product. And natural products can be anything. They can be anything that's in nature. So all animals are natural products. Um, any any plants or fruit or vegetables, um, dirt, just all kinds of things are natural products, and they can begin with something like that, and they can put over 100 chemicals in natural flavoring in order to give it kind of like the flavor that you want. And some of it is even MSG, which actually has this quality about it that makes you want to crave that flavor again. So these are things to pay attention to, you know. And then we have like our colors in our food, all of these dyes that they put in our food, and they can put these things in our food, and sometimes we're not even aware of the things that are in there. If you want to find out more about natural flavors, just go and ask, because I've seen this on many food products in the past, but this like vanilla flavoring or raspberry flavoring, and just do some investigation into seeing how those flavors are actually created, because the vanilla beans are really expensive. So one of the reasons that they do this is to save money, right? To be able to produce something that tastes like it without actually having to use real vanilla beans. So do your investigation, check these things out, and find out what you can learn about natural flavors, and then consider eliminating them from your diet. And just to let you know, natural flavors is the fourth most common ingredient found in processed food. Number four. Number four. So that says that it's in a lot of our food. And also pay attention to the bioengineered ingredients on your food. It's how they're not having, like, so genetically modified, those are bioengineered ingredients. So just pay attention. Pay attention. So Bob actually introduced me to Dr. Mindy, and ever since I found Dr. Mindy, I fell in love. She really, not only does she speak to health in a very holistic way, but she also speaks to women's health in a very powerful way. And she talks about how we change, how our bodies are just changing all the time because we are very hormonal beings. It doesn't really matter what age we're at. In our childbearing age, we have a lot of hormones that are running through our bodies every month as our cycles are changing and things like this. When we come into perimenopausal or postmenopausal, we're having a lot of hormonal changes too. And really, what she did for me was she helped me to kind of navigate this time in my life as I'm going through menopause, postmenopause. I've been probably postmenopause for about 10 years now. And although I would say I haven't really noticed like a lot of the symptoms that many people suffer, one thing that I have noticed is that I've had like hair loss, right? Like my hair has been thinning. And it's kind of like I just looked at a video of myself from like 6 years ago when I was dancing hula with my mom, and my hair was huge. It was big. And I was looking at my hair and I was like, wow, I really have. So this is all has to do with my hormones, right? And there are so many things that I'm learning about how I can feed my body during this time in my life to actually support what's happening with my hormone production within my body, because it changes when I stop having my cycle, once my cycle stops, then things start changing. The responsibility of hormone production goes to another place in my body, right? And so now I have to figure out how to do that. Well, for you, those of you that are experiencing menopause or even like premenopausal, right, maybe this is a good book for women in their starting in their 40s. I'm 62. I'm finding out a lot of really great information. This book is really, really powerful, and I'm just now starting to read it. But what I've learned so much from her already that I already know that I definitely wanted this book, and I wanted to be able to have the information at my fingertips. She's got so many amazing videos, right? Go watch them; they're really powerful. And so I got this book for me for menopause, but then I also got this is another book of hers, Fast Like a Girl. I got this because this isn't about the menopausal woman. This is just about women in general, and it has more general advice for you if you have someone in your family who's not a woman, who's wanting to maybe learn from, because a lot of the things that she talks about can be used with men too, but when she's talking about some of the hormonal things, it doesn't necessarily apply. But being fasting and avoiding certain foods and the good oils and how we should eat and when we should time our eating, that's all she kind of goes over all of that in this book as well. And it's a little bit thicker, as you can see. So I just got both of these books. I'm really excited about it. This is day 2 for me. And I'm just paying attention. So I'm logging. I'm starting like this little log book of what it is that I'm eating, when I'm eating, what my glucose is, how much I weigh. So I dropped 2 pounds today, but I think it might have also been, like how they say, weigh yourself first thing in the morning. I didn't weigh myself first thing in the morning. I weighed myself at, what did I say? It was like noon, 12:30. I weighed myself at 12:30. And they say like sometimes you put on weight during the day. So I don't know. So I'm just trying all these different things. So we were talking about toxins, and I wanted to bring this in. When we're talking about our food toxins in our food, that's one thing. But we can also look at toxins in our environment. So you have toxins in your shampoo, toxins in your laundry detergent, toxins in your dishwasher and liquid, toxins in your cleaning supplies, toxins everywhere. And I just wanted to present this to you because I love this Dr. Bronner's Castile soap. And you can use this for so many things. You can use this to wash your hair and wash your body. You can also use this to as a dish detergent for your dishes. You can also use this. I actually used this the other day when I was cleaning my car. Right? You can use this for household cleaning. In fact, I'd have to get my glasses on. In fact, I bet there's a whole list of stuff that you can do on here, and the label's really fun to read too. There's just tons of information, right? It says enjoy. Let's see here. Let me find something. Dilute and enjoy one soap, 18 different uses: shave, shampoo, shower, bathe, mop, launder, degrease. Dr. Bronner's Pure Castile is the very best soap for body, home, and spaceship Earth. Right? Our health is our greatest wealth. Enjoy body rub to stimulate body, mind, soul, and spirit. Right? Dilute that. So this is a concentrated form of soap, and you dilute this, and you can use this for all kinds of things. This is one way to get chemicals out of your house, get chemicals out of your hair, get chemicals out of your laundry, right? And so I think this is great for your household, an overall household product that can help you in a big way get rid of some of the toxins that are in your house. And I've known about these things for a long time. I've known about, the toxins in our environment and stuff like that. And I've done my best to protect Bob and I. I have a water filter on our a water filtration system on our house, on our faucet, so that we can have clean water, filtered water. I've been using soaps like this for a really long time. I'm using really good soaps for laundry, things that don't have any fragrance and stuff like that, because all of those are chemicals. We think that they come from like lavender and stuff like that. And maybe in some of our products they do, but maybe in some of them they don't. And so this is just like here to just kind of give you some pointers on some things that you can do, because sometimes it's challenging to, like, when you're facing all this stuff all at once, like, oh my gosh, it's everywhere, it's everywhere. Yeah, it can be a little bit overwhelming. So let me look in the let me see in here who's here. Hey, hello. Let's see, VW. I'm addicted to the pink stuff, and you don't eat enough meat. For years and years and years, Bob and I didn't eat any meat either. And I've had a lot of blood work done and a lot of tests done. And my chiropractor is really kind of encouraging me to eat some beef because both of us are deficient in iron. Just minor deficiency, but here's my problem when it comes to be eating meat. We stopped eating meat a long time ago because of the moral and ethical. Um, it's just the way that they're cared for and raised, and it's just not okay with me, personally. So we stopped eating meat a long time ago. Um, a few years, yeah, like probably 15 or 16 years ago. And I mean, our health is in really good shape. We're not really doing too badly. However, I do have a little bit, and Bob has a little bit of iron deficiency. So we're being encouraged to eat meat. And so my whole thing is, if I'm going to eat meat, I want to know that that cow had a happy cow life. I'm going to want to know that that cow, was humanely raised and had like roaming pastures. So like there's a lot of things out there about grass-fed beef and organic beef and things like that. And so, really, my thought is I would like to find like a cattle rancher, a local cattle rancher who has, grass-fed beef or something like that, so that I know that these animals are being raised humanely. I don't have necessarily a big thing about eating animals as it is. Well, this is really a difficult topic for me to discuss, because I know, like, many people say, like, Native Americans and things like that, but it was all done in a very different way. We didn't take more than we needed. Um, it was much more sustainable, the way that the beef industry is now. I'm getting off on a weird topic, but I'm already here. I'm already doing it. It's just it's not sustainable. And back in the day, before World War II, most families didn't eat a lot of meat. I didn't eat a lot of meat. And so, so there's some ethical things that I have about eating meat. And this is just my own personal experience. I'm just sharing with you. I'm an animal lover. It's a really difficult thing for me. Um, and so I'm really having a difficult time with this whole thing around eating meat. And because I just don't know, like, even if it says like grass fed, organic, raised on a farm, there's a part of me that just doesn't know, you know. So uh, I have prided myself for a long time and not consuming um, animal meat, and yeah, and who knows? So that's something that I'm navigating. So I just got into like that really uncomfortable place. Yeah, and so that's the reality of life. Like sometimes we come up against some stuff. We have to kind of make some decisions about some things. So let's see what else here. Um, let's see. Yeah, I know that whole thing about natural flavors. Oh, and if you notice, my face is a little shiny. Cause see these little spots on my face. I thought, I wonder if there's a natural way in which I can help my skin to like not do that. And although I love them because it is a part of me, I love them. I've loved them for a long time. So I've got some castor oil right here that I'm putting on them to see. So we'll see. Like maybe in 6 weeks we'll take a look and see. This is what I look like day one of my castor oil treatment. my little my little my little dark spots on my face. Fun, huh? So let's see here. What else have we got? Yep. Fourth largest food ingredient in processed foods, right? Love Dr. Bronner's. Lavender scent is my favorite. Yes, endocrine disruptors. Yeah, and so these are the things like they're really bad for our hormones, like some of these toxins and some of these cleaners and some of these laundry soaps and whatnot. They're endocrine disruptors and they're not good for us. Um, so I think for the whole thing as far as like me, Lisa's saying here, I agree. We have to be choosy about the meat we do eat and don't eat too much. Yeah, and I think that everybody has to find that for themselves within themselves, right? And so, yeah, it's like just learning how we can be healthy. And I haven't done bad for myself. I'm being a vegetarian for 15, 16 years. All my blood work came back really good. Like really good blood work. All my organs are functioning really well. I did a lot of tests. I had all kinds of tests done. A hair sample test done for minerals. I had blood work done. That's where we found out about my thyroid. That was the only thing that came up was that my thyroid was out and my adrenals were just my cortisol. Right. So I'm in the process right now of learning more about my body and learning how to de-stress. And so that's I think we talked about some of that on our Sunday mornings and with our High Vibe Tribe community on our community call. And so yeah, bringing down the stressors, that's another thing. And yeah, so I know I've probably been all over the place, and that's okay because you know we're just following along with the conversation. Let me look in here and see what's in the chat. Let's see. Yeah, started using castor oil. I also started using castor oil on my stomach, right? On my stomach to help with estrogen. And this I learned from Dr. Mindy too. It's just like to put a little layer of castor oil on your stomach to help with your hormone production in your abdomen. So those are all the things that I'm learning. I hope that this was helpful for you. I probably went, oh my gosh, I went a really long time. All right, I gotta go. Thanks for hanging in here with me. I love you, I love you, I love you. And I'll see you guys again soon. All right, I'll see you tomorrow. All right, we'll have more to talk about tomorrow. Bye.